I've never personally had any creepy stuff happen to me when I was playing games, especially Minecraft, which I've played a lot of in my time. Minecraft's a fun game. Apparently, there's a couple of horror stories floating around here about creepy things that happened to people when they were playing Minecraft, and Spook's gonna tell us about them today. Let's get into this reaction, guys.
I bought Minecraft a couple of months ago, and I really enjoy playing.
Alright.
I'd mostly go online and play Hunger Games. I played Hunger Games all alone in the beginning, until I started teaming up with random people online. It wasn't weird or anything, and I'd often make good friends with them, because we would add each other on Discord.
Right.
Anyway, one day I asked another player if I could add him on Discord, because we had played a couple rounds of Hunger Games, and were pretty successful at it. So I eventually added him on Discord, and he introduced himself as Tim.
Okay.
It was a little bit weird to say the least,
the shrubber?
because he'd always be online, and want to stay on call with me longer, even though it would get pretty late.
Okay.
He was really good at PvP, so I kept hitting him up, because we'd gone on to win a few games nearly every day.
It's always cool to
One
find
night,
somebody that's really good.
We were just playing
like
Minecraft, when he asked me where I lived. I told him where I lived, which was in Pennsylvania.
I see where this is
and
going.
That's when he said he lived there as well.
Alright.
Then he asked me where exactly. I told him I lived a couple of miles away from Scranton, and that's when he said he lived in Scranton, and that he didn't live too far from where I lived.
Sounds
we both
very
agreed
convenient.
It was a crazy coincidence, but I decided to call it a night, because it was getting late. But then he suddenly asked if I wanted to hang out sometime in real life. I told him sure, if I wasn't too busy with school, and then told him my goodbyes. But that's when he asked me to stay on a little longer, because he felt lonely, and that I was his only friend. I stood silent for a moment, in shock that he just came out and said that so blatantly. Then I told him it was gonna be fine, and asked if he wanted to talk about it some more. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, he said. Then he just disconnected from the call.
Was he really feeling it?
The whole thing was pretty awkward.
Yeah, that does sound very awkward.
He didn't want to open himself about it.
Sure.
Although I kept thinking about it, I decided to let it slip and just continue to play online with him.
Okay.
But then he started asking more and more personal questions again.
Sure.
Personal questions of all types, like what my favorite meal was and school I went to. He also started turning his video on when we were on call, and wanted me to do the same for some reason.
That's common bonding,
I slowly realized he was just kind of socially off, so to speak.
Okay.
So I decided to just cut it off. To be honest, I didn't have anything against him, but the best way I could describe it was like an effective arm to be cut off soon, rather than it being too late.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want us to be too close.
Kind of like
also because I didn't really plan on wanting to meet him in real life.
Sure.
Because he was just weird.
Yeah, if you're worried about
Luckily,
that too,
that was the end
best
of
to
it,
just cut it off.
Or so I thought. One day, I was coming out of my school with my friends, when one of my friends told me there's someone staring at me.
Yeah, he knows what you look like too.
I asked him where the guy was, and he pointed in the person's direction. I looked over in the direction he pointed, and sure enough, it was Tim.
Right.
I had recognized him because he used to turn his camera on during our calls. He was in the distance, just staring at me. I just kept moving, and luckily that was the end of it for good.
Wow.
But I never forgot how scary my whole experience with this kid was.
That does seem kind of weird. He might have just been awkward and trying to bond, because it didn't sound like very, very, very intrusive.
Me and my 3 online friends, Freddy, Max, and Zach, all have a Minecraft survival world where we each have our own houses, crops, and basically anything else you can imagine in a solo world.
Together.
Like I said, Freddy, Max, and Zach were all online friends, meaning that we never actually met in real life.
Sure.
I just knew that they lived in the US, and despite that, we bonded pretty well. Anyway, one night we were playing as usual, and Max tells us he has to get off to eat dinner, and that he'll be back within roughly 30 minutes.
Okay.
So he muted himself and left.
Yeah.
But a couple of minutes later, that's where things got strange.
Okay.
In the game, his character started moving. I could see this from a distance, because his name tag wasn't staying still, like it usually would when a person would be AFK.
You could see somebody's name tag
I told Freddy and Zach that Max was still playing. We continuously called out his name, but there was no response from him.
Right.
We asked if he was playing a prank, and if he did, to stop it, because it was getting a little creepy.
Okay.
But again, no response. Then his character started placing lava on top of all of our houses. I saw this only as I was getting back up from mining.
Maybe it's his
I told the rest of the guys what Max's
something?
character was doing, and we all came to kill him.
Yeah.
At this point, our houses were on fire, and almost all of our chests were set on fire.
He's a griefer!
Basically putting hours of progress in the game to waste in seconds.
Griefers!
His character dies, and spawns next to his bed like it usually would.
Yeah.
Then, weirdly, it stops again. This wasn't like Max anyway.
Right.
I've known him for a good year now, and I know he wouldn't just vandalize anyone like that.
Sure.
After about 5 minutes, we all hear Max ask us what the hell happened to his inventory, and why he suddenly had no stuff on him.
Right.
Zach asked him what his deal was to set flames to all of our houses, which he replied with a confused tone, saying he was honestly just downstairs eating dinner with his family.
Right.
We asked him if maybe his little brother got a hold of his laptop or something.
That's what I thought.
But that's when he said he didn't have any siblings, and that he went downstairs to have dinner with both his mom and dad. No one else could have done this. Wait, did you guys hear that? He suddenly asked us.
Somebody's in his room?
Hear what?
Oh man, I just got the chills so bad.
Then we all suddenly hear loud crashing noises coming from what seemed to be in his room.
Dude. Somebody's in his room.
Me, Freddy, and Zach all stayed dead silent, both in shock, and trying to make out what was happening.
Right.
After a good 5 minutes, we decided to all log off and find a way to contact Max other than from Skype.
Did y'all know?
Because whatever was happening sounded pretty serious.
Was it on his computer too?
I had his Instagram, so I messaged him on there asking what happened. We were all worried sick. And that's when, after roughly 2 hours, I got a text back from him saying that he was all right.
Okay.
Allegedly, a kid from his school somehow broke into his house and into his room and was hiding in his closet.
Okay.
He told us that the kid was obsessive about him and desperately wanted to play Minecraft with him.
A little young
and that Max kept telling him that he'd rather play alone.
Right.
The kid is apparently known around Max's school for being a weirdo.
Oh, well.
So he was relieved to report him to the cops with his parents.
Yeah.
It was crazy how this happened so randomly.
I wonder how old
and although our Minecraft world was basically ruined, we were glad that Max was safe.
I know, right? So, you know, what I was thinking at first, what kind of freaking lunatic would break into somebody's house and start playing Minecraft on their computer when they went downstairs? If you were there to ambush somebody, you know, you're not gonna just be off guard and start griefing people's house in Minecraft. You know? I guess it was a good thing they knew how to pick them, right? They knew not to hang around with that guy in the first place because he was a Minecraft griefer. People like that, griefers in Minecraft, they deserve the harshest punishment possible. maybe not. At any rate, guys, this was fun. Look, make sure to go ahead up Spooked. Great narrator, awesome story, Spooked as always, and a couple other videos that I reacted to from him. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.